I did whatever I wanted in my 20s, literally anything I wanted. And of course, that didn't turn out to be a recipe for life success. You can't just do whatever you want. And this is actually something Western feminism teaches women.
This is Clayton as he walked into the courtroom, accused of shooting his adopted father back in January.
Hey, Clayton, we want to hear from you. What happened that night? How are you holding up, Clayton?
He had no comment outside. According to police, the shooting happened in the middle of the night on January 13th, on Clayton's 11th birthday. Police say Clayton was upset that he was told to go to bed without his Nintendo Switch.
This story really is a tragedy all around. It begins with a kid that's in the system and maybe even in and out of group homes before a family tries to love on him and give him a normal child upbringing. But something he learned in that first 10, 11 years told him that I don't have to accept any authority from you. I do what I want to. And it's a tragedy all around. But what it indicates is that we are in the midst of a I do what I want to generation, or several generations. And that means, of course, they are without order, structure, and discipline, because if you do what you want all the time, you end up with outcomes like this.
His reasoning for why he shot his father.
So what we know so far is that this took place on Clayton's 11th birthday. He told police in the affidavit, in the interview room, according to the affidavit, he told police that he was upset that his video game was taken away from him on his birthday. So that night he got up and he was looking for that Nintendo Switch, and instead he found a gun. And according to police, that's when he shot his father while he was sleeping. According to police in that interview room, they asked him what he thought would happen when he shot his father. And he said that he hadn't thought that far.
Right.
So I don't think this, according to this affidavit, it wasn't a thought out plan. It was something that happened in the moment.
As sad as this story sounds, it looks like this is going to be a new norm, at least for my home country, because when you have several generations of people essentially told that I get to do what I want, I can be with who I want, I can do what I want when I feel like it, you're going to get these kinds of outcomes, as sad as it is to say, because who has the authority to tell you, no, you can't do that? Is it your parents? Is it your teachers? At the end, it's just the law and the police, and they are not good parents. And I think people are starting to notice that when that order, discipline, and structure start to fall away in society, you don't like what's left.
And I went right to the police department.
You traversed Georgia?
And pressed.
A lot of this is due to women that look like me. It's white, liberal women, I'm sorry. It's emotion over logic. It's nonsense. You are giving away the future of our own kids, the future of our society, the future of Europe. It's not okay, and I won't be okay, and I won't stand for this.
And I went right to the police department.
You traversed Georgia?
And pressed.
I actually started to see American feminism as freedom from Indian patriarchy, specifically patriarchy enforced by the women in my family.
Of course, I can't say that discipline is gendered, but I can say that because of the nature of the modern dating market, more and more men understand the nature of delayed gratification in order to be dateable, if you will. And that pool is getting bigger and bigger by the day, which is why we have some of the issues we're having. But still, that said, the idea of discipline or delayed gratification, just being able to say no now for what you want in the future in terms of having a better future, is that it's not fun. And many of these young ladies look around at their peers and they're having a blast and they're breaking social norms that their mothers and their grandmothers and their great-grandmothers used to uphold. And it seems like they're having even more fun until you get to down the road. Well, guess what? Welcome to down the road. We're here now.
Started to see American feminism as freedom from Indian patriarchy, specifically patriarchy enforced by the women in my family. Weirdly enough, started to see this as an escape because I saw that the white girls that were my friends were very liberated. Their mothers didn't police their clothing. They didn't tell them what to do. I wasn't allowed to be friends with boys, which, as you can imagine, socially fucked with me a little bit. So I saw feminism as freedom, right? And then in college, I am still adhering to this feminist paradigm because I saw it again as freedom from Indian patriarchy. And a lot of my Indian American female friends also suffered under this same set of social norms whereby they would be policed, and it was actually truly oppressive. And so I thought, okay, I will seize my liberation and I will not act according to these highly conservative Indian norms. And I didn't. I did whatever I wanted in my 20s, literally anything I wanted.
This is an example of a young lady that comes from a culture that's more structured, that maybe the young ladies don't like in the beginning, but in the end, they can see that it's creating certain results. And then she goes to a culture that does not have those restrictions, and then she could do whatever she wants, but now she's at that I'm down the road part now, and now she understands it. And maybe many of those guys that turn out to be computer scientists or engineers are looking at her now and saying, I know that you've been out there, so now I'm good. And now she's getting a taste of the effect of not practicing delayed gratification. But here's the key, though. She understands that she made a mistake, and thus she's willing to learn the right lesson.
And of course, that didn't turn out to be a recipe for life success. You can't just do whatever you want. And this is actually something Western feminism teaches women. And then when I say this, people think I'm crazy. People think I'm the one getting something from feminism that wasn't there. But if now it is very clear that feminism is anti-discipline, and it does not lead to letting go of discipline entirely, does not lead to great life outcomes for a lot of women. You can't just do whatever you want. And this is actually something Western feminism teaches women.
It's very clear that feminism is anti-discipline.
Ranger School is one of the most difficult and demanding leadership schools in the world. Because of training to exhaustion, pushing the limits of your mind and body, every Ranger I know has a love-hate relationship with Ranger School. We hated the school and going through it, but we love what it taught us about our lives and ourselves.
I'm not even going to pretend that I can imagine the amount of dedication and sheer discipline that's necessary to become an Army Ranger or a Navy SEAL. Any man or woman that becomes one of these can walk into pretty much any room, anywhere pretty much, and demand respect, and rightly so. I mean, my little bit of flirting with discipline comes from being on sports teams and doing Taekwondo as a kid.
God, you look like such an idiot.
All of that said, however, I think there's something that's happening with young men regarding this modern dating situation where I think that they're losing a level of respect for young ladies simply because they're not seeing any discipline. What they're seeing is a growing list of what women want from men. But what they don't see is any growing list of sacrifices that young women are making so that they can kind of square the circle.
How is dating? Because now that, things are coming back to normal, do you use apps? Are you in?
Oh, I'm on so many apps, and I gotta say, dating's bad. It's not good.
It's still bad. Okay.
It's awful. The apps are terrible. The men are just trash. Not to be rude, but
that's honest.
Yes, just being very
keeping
honest.
it real.
This one man on the app, he was like, let me buy you something expensive. And I was like, ooh, a vintage car? And then he unmatched me. And I was like, why did you offer?
It's your problem.
Yeah.
I see this as a you problem.
Yes. Another man had screenshots of his bank account, and I was like,
what?
Yeah. And so I picked a number higher than what he had posted, and I was like, I only talk to men with this amount of money. And he's like, I have more. And I was like, sir, you're thirsty in a way that I don't like.
Under no circumstance am I trying to shame Nicole Byer for the way she lives her life or the way she presents herself. That's her choice, and it's socially acceptable because young ladies can present themselves in any way they choose to, and it is the order of the day. So it is what it is. But a guy on the other end is being told he has to be emotionally available. He has to be 6 feet tall. He has to have a certain amount of money. He has to be a plethora of things in order to be likable in this modern dating market. And young ladies are simply saying the bar is in hell. And they keep repeating that refrain to the point where young men are questioning the very idea. Exactly what is it that I'm supposed to be doing to be wantable in this modern environment? And there are many, many voices essentially saying the problem again is not young ladies and what they are or what they want. The problem is men, and specifically young boys.
Why are teenage boys today more misogynistic than they were 10 years ago? Well, for the first time, research shows that teenage boys are becoming more sexist, not less. Can you guess why? Algorithms don't care about ethics. They care about engagement. And what keeps boys watching?
What was your first kiss like? Have you had one yet?
No, actually.
You're lying.
I actually have not kissed a girl ever.
No way.
A seemingly confident man telling them exactly who to blame for their insecurities, their failures. Women. Can't get a date to the prom? Yeah, because women are gold digging. Women don't respect you? Yeah, because they're low value. Women just want to be friends and don't want to have sex with you? Yeah, that's because they're bitches.
Smile.
What'd you say to me?
Why don't you smile?
Would you say that to a man? If a man was walking past here, clearly listening to his headphones, clearly busy, would you say that to him? Would you tell a man to smile? No, you probably wouldn't, you fucking creepy freak. Get away from women. Do me a favor, stay away from women. Stay away. Because you're a loser and you've probably never gotten any ass in your life and you probably never will.
And this is typically packaged as self-help. These guys are going to show these boys how to be men. But really it's just a pile of a little bow on it. And it starts young. Research is showing that boys are being served up this content 30 minutes after creating an account.
Chloe, I've known you for 6 years now. I have known since the day I met you that I wanted you to be my friend and partner forever. And today I thought on this beautiful day in this beautiful place I would make it official and ask you to be my wife.
They're scrolling along and suddenly they're deep into toxic masculinity. Buy my creatine, muscle milk. Oh, that hurt. And this isn't just about boys being boys. This is a generation being radicalized real time. We're all watching it happen. The internet is raising them and it's teaching them that women are the enemy. And these big tech companies do not care because it gets engagement. And the generation hasn't been taught how to spot it or push back against it.
It's very easy and fashionable these days to point at young men and even young boys and say they're the problem with all of this. They need to become better individuals. They have not had to compete with women that have gotten educations, etc., and they're intimidated. But then you look at the social media itself, and there are accounts after accounts after accounts of young ladies basically showing kinds of behavior that men just would not want to be around, much less date or try to marry. And so if young guys are getting radicalized, it's because of the behavior of the young ladies themselves. I present to you the modern dating market of the West.
We listen and we don't judge.
Remember when I knew you for like 4 days and you helped me move my apartment and a couple other guys showed up to help me move too?
Yeah.
I was going on dates with them too. I just invited everyone I was dating at the time to help me move my apartment. There was like 3 dudes that I was all dating. We don't judge.
Imposters, we're not honest about it. We're not telling people that we're dating 4 to 5 people other than them because we all know that that's a turnoff. If you went up and told 90% of people that you're dating 4 to 5 people, even if they have their own roster, they're fucking leaving. And if a roster is something that you cannot be honest about, you're already basing your relationship off of
about how I did not know who the father of my daughter was.
Went on a date with 6 different men in the past 2 weeks.
Let me tell you about the 2 guys that I'm dating while I get ready to go on a date with the 3rd one.
When is a good age to sit your child down and explain to them that their parent that they think is their biological parent isn't actually their biological parent?
I got pregnant while drunk, 3 weeks away, and still don't know who the father is.
So this is how I told my biological father that I was his daughter, even though he had no idea I exist.
It's getting messy. 2 boys, 1 city. I don't know what to talk. I'm currently in talks with San Francisco guy to go see him this weekend. We're making plans. I'm on the phone with Mama's boy tonight, you guys. I don't know how I'm keeping up with all. I'm with Mama's boy tonight, and he's like, "What are you doing later this week?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. I'm just like, I'm probably gonna take a spontaneous trip to San Francisco." He's like, "Just for fun?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just feel like I haven't gone anywhere. I just want to go somewhere."
Please help me find my dad, so please engage whatever with this video. My mum lied to me about who my biological dad was.
Reasons why you should be dating multiple men at once.
What a discipline at, yo.
The problem with all of these stories is one simple, really reasonable idea. What these women are doing requires no discipline. There's no self-control. You do whatever you want, whenever you want, with whomever you want, and it's your right to do so. Which, I guess, if they want to do so, that's fine. But there's going to be a reaction to that because essentially these young ladies are becoming something that men just don't want to date. I mean, when you saw a movie like G.I. Jane, you thought that, oh, wow, that's real discipline. She's willing to do what it takes to be one of the Navy SEALs. But if the modern presentation of feminism is I do whatever I want, when I want, how I want, and you have to do more and give me more and be more of what I like, and if you're not what I like, then you are not a good man and the bar's in hell, then guess what guys are going to do?
Can y'all do me a huge favor? Stay your ass out the dating pool if you are not looking to date for marriage or a committed relationship. Just stay out the way. Like, normal people date because they want to be married or they want something serious, right? That's normal. Okay? Just pay for it.
I think that there's something that's very easy for even the youngest of male social media users to understand, that when they're watching many of these young ladies don't understand the plight of the average guy. I don't think they even care to. I think it's pretty obvious they don't care to. But here's the other part, and I don't think that people are really considering this as much as they should be. What happens when you don't see that young lady as a prize anymore? Remember when the guy went to help the young lady and all the guys show up and it's like 5 or 6 different guys and she's dating them all at the same time? Does he see her the same way after that? She may think that she's the same prize and she may want people to see her as the same prize, but what happens when you look at her and you just feel a level of disgust? It's going to turn guys into rangers, and not those rangers like the ones from the army, but different kinds of rangers.
Once you learn how to kick it by yourself, bro, you don't care who with you, bro. I am a straight up loner. I'm a lone ranger, 1D, solo, dolo.
Hayo Silver!
A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty Hayo Silver, the Lone Ranger.
I'm a lone ranger, 1D, solo, dolo. If that was a person, it would be me. I'm not saying I don't got homeboys and I don't got friends. I do, that I got love for sure. Each one of my are loners too. Every nigga that I fuck with, they hang by they stuff. You feel me? Once you learn how to be by yourself, bro, you good. You don't care who with you, who talk to you, bro. Sometimes you be wishing that don't call you. Most of the time it be about some bullshit. Bitch ain't coming with no opportunity, no money, no peace of mind, nothing positive, dumb shit. Don't even want to talk to you. Man, I'm so okay with being by myself, taking trips by myself and all, but peaceful by myself.
Here we get one side of the equation of a young man who is essentially coming to the realization that being by himself is actually kind of nice, especially in this modern environment of all the accoutrements that we have. That he can make more money, he can hang out with his loner friends when they want to, and he can go on trips when he chooses to. And there's that other part of the equation where this young gentleman is looking at the dating pool and seeing young ladies that are dating multiple guys at the same time, and you have young ladies that are essentially talking about getting rid of the child that are inside of them like it's no big deal, and you can see it's a joke even in many social media posts. And then young ladies who don't know who the father is, and people are going to look at these young men and say the problem is the kind of content they're consuming when they're consuming the content made by the women, the modern women themselves. There's a simple yet obvious issue that is unavoidable, not just in the modern dating landscape, but just in general. When you see a young 11-year-old boy do something to his stepfather, that's a young kid who thought from the beginning of his life that he can do whatever he wants to. And you see the behavior in schools, you can see the behavior in places like LA Fitness, where they're starting to take down basketball courts because people don't know how to act, and it's essentially a society of people that just do what they want when they want because they're themselves. And if you're a guy who's trying to run a marriage or build a family that way, it's not going to be very easy, just like it's not easy to go to LA Fitness and not see people fighting over what a foul call was. And if you multiply this across just the society in general, I think you're starting to see more young women raise alarm because they understand. You can't have a society without discipline, without order, without people being able to say no sometimes to things that they want. But essentially, the modern dating environment has become just that. A larger group of young ladies that are dating who they like, when they like, in the way that they like, and then looking at the rest of men and saying, you're not what I want, not what I like, so you need to become what I want or what I like, and that's on you. And guys are looking at this and saying, well, first of all, if I get you pregnant, I'm going to have to pay for 2 decades, and I'm not even sure the kid's going to be mine. I'm not even sure the family's going to work out. So what do? Become a Lone Ranger, which this society seems to be doing a good job at manufacturing. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you next video. Take care, guys.